Hi, I'm Summer Eve, and this is day 2 of making YouTube videos so that you can follow me on my journey to becoming a 3D printer and 3D model designer. So yesterday we got this shelf put together, some filament moved around and organized, and I was having a problem with my machine over here. My first machine I got, this is the second one I got. These are bamboo P1S with the AMS, the combo. I love them. I haven't used anything else, but so far I love them. I love these. Again, nothing to compare it to, but I love them. This one yesterday was giving me problems. It just kept failing. The print just kept failing and failing. I recalibrated it. I tried fresh filament right out of the package, just in case maybe this just is too moist in here. It was cold yesterday, so I was thinking maybe temperature is a factor. And then I boiled it all down and I said, oh, it just must be my error, my design that I'm using. So let me try a different design. That failed too. I was at the end of my ideas when I decided to recalibrate the machine for a second time because I did move it to a new location. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but I thought in my mind, that's something good you should probably do every once in a while, right? Especially if you're moving it around. So I went ahead and recalibrated it, and I decided to print a benchy. This is the second one I printed. This is the first one I printed. So again, I was having the same problem. However, when I came to take this off the bed, I saw it failing and I stopped it in the slicer. When I came to take this off the bed, and now I don't think this is the part, I threw it away already. This is red, obviously. But when I came to take this off the bed, there was a big ball of navy blue filament, like woven in with the red. So there was actually a clog somewhere in the nozzle or in the line. It's got to be in the nozzle, right? Where everything's melting. So there was obviously a clog somewhere in the nozzle, not enough of a clog to stop the production or halt the filament from coming through, therefore not notifying the machine that there was a clog and just continually failing the print. So when I saw that big clump come out, I was like, that had to have been it, right? Maybe that was it. Hopefully that's it. And hopefully I'm not going to ruin this machine. But look, it was it. There was a small clog in the machine. So next time, if that happens to you and you've exhausted all of your resources, you might just have to take the nozzle apart. But you might just have to print a benchy. I don't know. So today I'm going to get a couple things going on the machines. I did end up printing something on the printer last night or yesterday afternoon, and it went all the way through beautifully. So I'm going to go ahead and finish printing the other components for this little calendar reminder to change your air filter. We're going to get these machines going, and then I'm going to attempt to design an NFT keychain. So stick around and see what happens. Okay, so I'm at my desk now. I've got my little NFT stickers. I'm going to go ahead and open them so I can get a measurement. Oh, that has an opening. Okay. This is what they look like. See that? This is what they look like here, the little sticker on the back, and just plain white, the little cardboard. You can get these without the paper or the sticker. I just thought this would be more suitable for the 3D printing since it is going to be encased in hot plastic. I ordered this digital caliper so that I could measure small little tiny things. Specifically, when I was creating the first fidget that I created, I ordered it so that I could measure these little mechanical keyboard inserts, so that I could create the clicker around it. and not have to rely on somebody else's work. So we will take our caliper, our digital caliper, and we will make sure it's set to 0. And we're just going to go ahead and measure our object. So we're starting out in Tinkercad. We are starting out with a cylinder. We already brought it to the center, so we're going to get rid of that. Just wanted to show you that. We took our measurements for our NFC tag, so we know how big we need to create our keychain around that NFC tag. So I think we want to keep the thickness around 3 millimeters so that the tag can be read through the plastic. You don't want to go too thick. I have not done this before, but I did do a little bit of research and I watched a few creators make these NFC tags, and 3 millimeters seems about right. So basically what I did was I just dropped down the height to 3 millimeters. I have not adjusted the diameter. Right now it's at 20 by 20. And we know that the diameter of the NFC is at least 25. So we probably want to make it, so let's get it to at least the size of the NFC tag. We can actually just make this the NFC tag, so we can make it the hollow part. So we'll just size it as the NFC tag. We will turn it into a hollow part, and I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to take this cylinder, we're going to size it as the NFC tag, which the height of the NFC tag was 0.9 millimeters, quite thin. So now, that's my talk. So now we have the size of the NFC tag. We can turn it into a negative part by clicking hole. Now, whatever we put that in and join it to will create that negative space wherever we want it. So we'll go ahead and just put this off to the side here, and then we're going to create our keychain. I think I'm going to opt for a round keychain for this design. Oop. Get rid of that. Just grab a new one. It'll be easier. I think it would be easy to fit in your pocket with the nice round smooth edges, nothing to like stab you or like get in the way or snag on anything. So I think it's good for a keychain like this to be round. This is for a business, so this is going to take customers to their website and also provide their contact information. So let's see. I think it could probably be about double that. So we'll just make it a little bigger. And then we'll go ahead and, ooh, I'm trying to move the board here so you can see the height of it. So we're going to drop this down to about 3 millimeters. And then that can fit right inside that. But first I need to bring in the logo that I'm going to use. And we're going to go ahead and rename this. Tinkercad always puts some weird name up there, so we're going to name it what we want it to be. And we're going to call it the Patriot AC NFC tag. And then we're going to import it to the artboard. It's going to show up huge. And then I'm going to size it down. Tiny, bring it over here. And we're going to come and see where this is. So this logo is obviously gigantic. This is only 3 millimeters high, so we need this to be less than that. So we'll probably just make it a millimeter high, And now it's inside the cylinder. We're going to drag it up by pulling this little arrow. And you can see it come up out of the top there. Right now, this grid is snapped to 1 millimeter. I'm going to take it down to 0.25. You can turn it off entirely. And sometimes I do. Sometimes you have to get it exactly where you want. So let's get the size the way we want it. Now this is going to be really tiny, so we're going to try it with the logo. We're going to try and make one this small with the logo, the full logo. I don't think it's going to come out that great, but we're going to give it a shot. And I do have a plan B depending on how this one comes out. So we'll just keep going with this. Let's grab that logo and let's see if we can get it as big as we can on this, because that's going to help it to not look so weird, or not weird, but we need it to be as big as possible because this thing's already so tiny. We're going to go ahead and just drag our mouse, highlight the entire shape so we're getting everything in this shape or in this area. And then I'm going to click L, and it's going to bring up this little alignment grid. And we're going to try to align it and center it here on the circle. It's already centered there. So it is perfectly centered on the circle now. And now we're going to just see what it looks like when we drop it down into the circle a little bit more. Now that we've got that snap off, we can do that. Ooh. So you don't want to keep it there because that is like too inside the shape, the cylinder, and it will not print right. So you want to bring it up at least out to there. And then I want to see how thick it is inside this cylinder. So I want to see how far down it's going into the shape. So I'm going to turn that cylinder into a hole so I can see through it. And you can see it is going inside that cylinder pretty deep. So I feel like it's nice and attached, and hopefully it will not affect the placement of this. Otherwise I might have to move it up a little bit because we don't want the outside too thin. So now we're going to take this guy, we're going to stick him inside, and we're going to do the same thing, grabbing everything, clicking L, and we're going to align it. Now we're going to come back over here, and we can see, click out of it, that it's all the way at the bottom, and we do not want that. We don't want it all the way down there. We want it right somewhere in the middle, which if we only grab the two cylinders and we don't grab the logo sitting on top strategically, we can just align those two things and we can bring that to center. And let's see how close we are to that wording. I think we could make this logo just a little bit thinner so that it's not quite so thick in there. And what we do is we're just going to adjust the height here. I'm just going to drop it down 0.25 millimeters, so a quarter of a millimeter. So that's going to bring it to 0.75. And then we're going to need to grab it and pull it back up a little bit because now it's completely in the cylinder. Okay. And now we can see that there looks like there's plenty of space between the logo. Whoa, we're going off the board. And to adjust this, I have a Mac, so I don't know how you do it on a computer that's not a Mac, but I am pressing Control and my mouse as well, the button on my mouse, and then moving my mouse up and down in order to get the angle that I want to see. So I feel like that should be enough spacing. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this outside. I just want to make sure I'm only grabbing this one cylinder on the outside. We made it a hole before. They call it a hole, but we made it a negative shape. And we're going to turn it back into a solid there. And now our negative shape is inside. It's encapsulated. Encapsulated? 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 I don't know. Inside that circle, so we can add our NFC tag during the printing process. I'm really excited about this. So now we're going to put a little, we need something to hang it from. So we're going to put a hole in it. So we're just going to take another cylinder, but I'm using the negative shapes up here because it's already turned into a hole. It's the same as this, but it's just has this clicked. So you can use whatever you want though. And I think that hole, let's see. Let's take our calipers and just visualize the hole, or you can grab an existing keychain that you have and you can try and measure that hole, and or if you have a key ring that it needs to fit, you can measure that key ring. But I'm just going to visualize using what I think that hole should be. And I'm going to say I like 0.10 millimeters. So we're going to see how it comes out. And so I'm just going to 0.10 millimeters. That's so tiny. But I guess, well, I don't know. That seems really small. But we're gonna see. We're just gonna see, right? Okay. I don't know what's happening here. I can't get it to move. It's so tiny. That is way too small, right? Come on. Come on. I mean, I'm not convinced of that. I think I need to go grab a keychain. Okay, I got my keys and I have a little tag here in the ice skating rink. So I'm going to see how big that is. I'm going to attempt to see how big that is. Okay, that is 0.19. So that's a little more like it. Okay, 0.19. Oh, is that why? Duh! I think I was on inch again. Oh my God. Gosh, what is going on today? My brain is not functioning. So 52 millimeters. I probably frickin' did the same thing on everything. No, 5.2. We're cutting this out. Okay, I need a 5.2 millimeter hole. So let's take it back here for a second. Okay, so now I've got the right size hole. Jeez Louise. Now I'm worried. I think I did that to the whole thing. Oh my God, I'm just going to start over. Let's come over here. So you see how small this design is. You see what I'm talking about. And now it is, it's just not going to work. I didn't think so, but I wanted to try. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the star idea here and just make it, just put a star here, and we'll just do it with some colors, you know? We'll just make it pop with color. So let's do this all at 7. Make it even. And then we will make it much smaller, 0.75, just like we did the logo. And we'll get these colors the way we want them so we can visualize it a little bit better. And I want to see if I can do another one that's an outline in white. And we made that one 7. So we're going to make this one 7.25 and 7.25. Wait, what? What did we make this? Oh, 20. Wait. I am so confused here. 24.77. Center. Okay, I like it. I like it. It doesn't seem centered though. Like, what is it centering it on? I don't get it. Let's do this. I don't understand what's going on. Dunk, dunk. And what is the center of this? I don't get you. All right, well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie these two shapes together so I can at least get those like even on themselves, right? Okay, so in order to do that, it looks so weird. Okay, in order to do that, we're going to go up here and we're going to union them. We're going to undo that. We're this, we're going to bundle them. That way they stay two different shapes. Not that it matters once we take it out of here. Okay, so now this is one shape. Now let's see what it does. It still wants to throw it over there. It's very weird. Okay. We're just going to visually do this. Just move it around. Get it where you like it. Okay. I think that's probably a good. I'm going to make this hollow so I can see if these things are sitting down in it. I'm going to make this white one. Oh, I can't make this white one hollow. I got to undo it. So I'm going to undo it. Undo the union. So I can just grab this white one. I'm going to make that hollow because I want to see how far the red one is sitting into the white one, how far the white one's sitting into the shape, because you want to make sure, you know, it's in there and it's not just like sitting on the top. I like it to be like inside the shape, you know. So I think we're okay on that. Let's see. I'm going to make this solid again. And so, yeah, I can see that better. Okay. I think we're good on this. Now we're going to get centered back over here, but I'm trying to zoom out so I can grab this guy. Okay. And now we're going to take this guy into here, and I'm going to center him in the middle, but I've got to do it again strategically, so I can't grab that star. I just want to grab those two shapes, and so you'll look up here and make sure you only have those two shapes. And then I'm going to Press L again, center it there, center it there, and it's already in the middle because we just pulled it out of there the last time. So I'm going to click out of there. Now I'm going to make this outside shape a solid shape again with that hollow shape inside, embedded inside. We're going to take our cylinder that we made over here for the hole, and we're going to stick it where we think we want our keychain hole to go. Usually I would line all this up, but actually I can just do these two shapes. Remember, I only have two shapes. Oh, but it's probably going to stick it in the star. We'll see, we'll see. Let's see, we only want to align it in one direction, right? We only want to do it like that, so it's lined up straight. We don't want to do it both, because then it's going to stick it right in the middle again. So I think that's good. I don't like the placement of this anymore. I've separated that shape, so now if I want to grab both of them, I have to actually connect them again. So I'm going to try and, again, strategically just grab these two. I got the two shapes that I wanted. Now I'm going to try and rotate it. I've got it in the middle where I want it. I just don't think I like where it's at like that. So I want the cylinder to be more centered in the middle of the cutout of the star. So this is 22.5 degrees, and it's just a little bit of an over rotation for what I want it to be. So I'm going to try and do 20 degrees. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type in 20 degrees. And that looks pretty good to me. I think I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to get too like crazy about the placement of that right now. And I feel like this is a good distance. This is a good distance away from the edge, which should give it a nice thick area to hold on to. And we got to make sure that's dropped down all the way, because it's not. Did you see? I don't know if you saw that, but if you look underneath that shape, it's like flickering. It's because it's not all the way in, all the way going through the shape. Now it is. Now it'll be a full cutout. Okay, so let's get, whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. It's tweaking out. Let's get rid of that. I have a feeling this is going to be huge when I transfer it into Bamboo Studio. But let's see what it looks like. So we're going to go export everything in this design. If you just wanted a specific shape that you created, or just something out of, maybe your whole plate is full of things and you just want one thing, there is an option for that if you're clicked on a shape before you press export. I'm going to transfer it as an STL, going to allow it, and it's going to save it as Patriot AC NFC tag. So then I'm going to come into my slicer, and I'm going to go to prepare, and I'm going to do a new project, and I'm going to import, and boom, there it is. Now we can take it and we can color it. I'm going to change this because it's really not the color. This is more the color. Well, even darker than that, but you get it. So we're going to take this into the slicer. We're going to click up here and color it. First, we need to add another color. We add 3 colors. So this is just going to be, we're going to take it and do a different red. I like that red. It's not really the red because I'm using Overture Matte. They don't have the colors saved in here, and then just a white. Okay, so we've got our red, white, and blue. Those are our colors, and we're going to click on height range, and we're going to do white first. So we're gonna zoom on in. We're gonna change our perspective so that we can just try and grab this white area here and here. And then we're gonna come and grab this red and do the same thing with the red. See where we can grab it, how far down. Okay, I think that's good there. We got another level, looks like, before we get to there. And then we just kind of want to zoom in. We don't want this blue showing. So let's zoom in. Let's see if we can get rid of that. No, that got rid of that. So let's come over here and do it again. So now at least it's only bleeding into there. Let's try this. No. Okay, so that looks like it's going to be as clean as we can get it. I'm not going to try and hand do it because it's just going to make it worse. I think that looks good. I think it looks pretty cool. A little token. And we're going to slice it and see what we're looking at. So it's fast, easy print, 24 minutes and 52 seconds. Again, I don't know how this is going to come out. I don't know what we're in store for yet. It doesn't look like that colored right. So let's go back into prepare. Let's go back into color. And what is going on with it? I think it's this. We're going to click this white. Oh, goodness gracious me. It's not going to let me do that. Okay, let's see about this. Edge detection. Boom. Oop. Boom. Yeah, nice and crisp. Yes. Boom. Boom. Okay. Sometimes that just doesn't work. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, turn this now. Okay. Oops. We'll fix that in a second. Bamboo. Your controls are not that great. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can do this with the red now and get it crisper. I don't know. Right? Because the red should come down. That should not be white anyways. Oh, so much better. So glad that happened. Oh my God, it looks so much better. Okay, so let's get that white part gone and we're making it blue. Woohoo! Okay, now let's reslice it. What is that? Let's go back out. Let's go in here. What did we miss here? I don't see it. So, okay, I guess that's just the way it's gonna be. I don't know, that little. Remember, this is tiny, so the details are not going to be great. Okay, so now we're gonna go into, this will be the first time I've done this, so bear with me while I figure it out. So we need to pause the print so that we can insert the NFC tag. So we want to get to the point in the print where the shell is made for the NFC tag to sit in, but it just hasn't been covered. So let's find that. Okay, there it is covered. All right, so it's very shallow. Okay, so it doesn't have that many walls before it starts to cover itself. So boom, right there. Okay, so this is where we need to put the pause. So the slicer is going to notify us once it gets to this point, and it's going to stop, and it's going to say, hey, you need to do something here. So that's going to notify me to go in there and stick in that tag and then press play again, press start. So let me figure out where we actually, like, where's the pause button? Where we do this? It's control click. So I'm going to add the pause. And that should be it. Let's get this sent over to the printer and we'll see how it turns out.